Hello, everyone, and welcome to the conversation. I am your host, Andrea Flintroy, and I'm so excited to have you joining on this evening on the conversation. The conversation is a space where we have open, transparent conversations because I believe that the conversations that we have on the conversation will break strongholds. It brings healing, and also it brings that awareness to what's going on in our own lives. I also believe that with the stories that my guest shares, I believe that their voice can save lives. I believe that their voice and their stories can break strongholds on someone else's lives. I believe that when they share the valleys and even their mountaintops that they've had and that the things that they've been through and their experiences can help someone else when they're in their valleys. You know, I heard on a sermon and he was speaking about Lodibar, being in the Lodibar place. And so I even think about that in the experiences that we have. Sometimes we find ourselves in our Lodibar. We're in that low place. We're in that valley. And we're wondering, can we have life? Can we have joy? Can we have peace and happiness? I am here to tell you, guess what? Yes, you can. Again, yes, you can. You can have that joy, you can have that peace, and you can be on that mountaintop. So, hello again to all my guests, everyone who has joined us on this evening on the conversation. Thank you so much. And so, now look, if you are part of the conversation community, you already know. You know how it is, you know how it goes down. But if this is your first time joining the conversation, and you're like, wait a minute, she's talking about a community. What community? Hey, there are three ways that you can be a part of this conversation community. Like the conversation, share the conversation, and guess what? Make comments. Because one thing about the conversation, it's not only a dialogue between me and my guest, it is also a dialogue and a discussion between us and you also as well, because the conversation is here for you. So I want to know how can I better support you if no other better way than you tell me what it is that you need. So hey, I'm so glad you're here. And let's go ahead and get into it. So tonight, I am so excited, so excited to bring you one of my P2P sisters. That's right. That's what I said. One of my P2P sisters from Purpose to Platform. We were in this coaching program, which was so dynamic, so awesome, so amazing. And I love it that it brought us together. So I bring you no one, no other than Jael. Yay! So, just a little bit about JL. JL is the founder of Rise to Realness, where she helps entrepreneurs build life giving communities around their brand. At Rise to Realness, they believe that businesses are created to serve people, and people are served better when they are within community. So, whether you're a podcaster, life coach, speaker, or any other type of entrepreneur who is seeking to create that transformation in the lives of the people that you serve, hey, JL is the girl for you. She is the one for you. So connect with her, um, DM her, contact her. Hey, build that relationship with her. And so I am excited. So again, welcome JL to the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on. So we do have some listeners. So we do want to say hello to Power Azul. Hello. Beautiful name too. I like that. And also we want to say hello to Simona, my mother. Look at that photo. Lord. Hi, Mom. How are you doing? So, yes, again, welcome everyone. Please, say hello, say your hellos. We love to do shout outs over here on the conversation because, again, We love our community.
Mhm.
But with that being said, JL talks a lot about community also. So, JL, can you tell the conversation community, how did you get into, or where did you find out that there was a lack in communities, or people not being in communities?
Mm. Yeah. I think I discovered it in my own life first.
Ooh, okay.
Like
Well,
so
tell
many
us that.
of the stories of the purposes that we live out, it's oftentimes because it's something in our own lives, right?
Mm,
Um, and so for me, believe it or not, I'm a complete introvert. Um, I grew up shy, timid, and I was also an immigrant. And my parents spoke Spanish at home, but I grew up in
mhm,
the States, right? So all the schools I went to were English speaking. I always looked different, sounded different, but even if it wasn't even like I could speak English pretty well, but like one time we were living in Minnesota for 5 years, and then I moved to Portland, Oregon.
mhm.
I picked up a Minnesotan, a Midwestern accent, and people were like, "Where are you from?" So then I was like, "What are you asking? Am I from Chile? Am I from Minnesota? Am I?" Um, so I always had this feeling of I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in.
Mm,
I feel like that's such a common feeling amongst us. Like we want to be accepted, we want
yes.
to be loved, we want to
Mm,
belong, and I was always seeking that. And I felt like I didn't know who I was. And even
mm,
if I knew who I was a little bit, I couldn't be who I was. I couldn't be myself. I was always
mm.
trying to be somebody else to fit in with them. I never realized I could be myself and that that was the special uniqueness of me
Yes.
and that I could still make friends and celebrate our differences, right? Um, but when it came to community, for me, um, when I was growing up, I had trouble making friends because of not knowing who I was, being shy, being timid. All
Mhm.
grew up in a household where my parents always told me to be quiet, right?
Yeah.
Um, not to cause trouble,
Mm.
not to interrupt, right? So it's like I felt like an inconvenience, like um, like I needed to shrink myself in high
Yeah.
school. Had an undiagnosed eating disorder, literally shrinking myself. Right, I'm 5'6",
Mm.
112 pounds. Like I'm
Wow.
150 now. Like imagine me, like a third of my size, um,
Wow.
a third of size missing, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, um, but one thing I did want in life was I always wanted to be a mother. And
Mhm.
when I became a mother, my world was flipped upside down. I was like, what the hell is this?
Motherhood would do it to you.
It was hard. I
Yeah.
It was dark. I felt alone in it. I
Mm.
was tired. I was exhausted, physically, emotionally, you name it. And there was one particular moment when our firstborn was 7 days old, and
Mhm.
we were both laying in bed. And I looked over at him and I thought, we both survived. We both survived that first week. I was like, okay, can only go up here from here. But I realized I needed help. I couldn't do it alone. I realized
Yeah.
like the baby required so much of me that I don't even know if I gave myself so much before.
Oh, that's
Um, so what I did is I sought out help. I sought out a community, and I didn't even realize that's what I needed. I was just like, I
yeah.
need something different. I need to do this with something different. And so
Mhm.
me being an introvert who thinks that I can do everything by myself,
Mhm.
I said, all right, well, let's try something different. let's go to this new moms group
Mm-hmm.
at the hospital where I delivered.
Mm-hmm.
New moms got together Wednesdays at noon, and we'd all sit in a big circle, and we cried and we laughed and we healed and we learned and we raised our babies together. And so that's when I had a community where we could like relate with each other, learn from each other, uh, realize it was okay to be vulnerable. And not only okay, but when we were vulnerable, we learned that others would open up and share too, right?
Mm.
Walk into circles thinking, having like a sense of pride
Yeah.
and like almost like a wall of not wanting to share.
Yeah.
But when other moms started saying, oh, their baby was so and so old and they weren't sleeping through the night yet either, I was like, oh, thank God, it's not just me.
Oof. Yes.
Or mother's having trouble breastfeeding and using nipple shields, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Let me, and I'm like, this is the best invention ever. Every new mother needs it.
You know what? It's so funny you said that. Like so when I had my sons, I was a young mom just as well. And so I people talk about breastfeeding. So I thought, let me try this. This gotta be it's the thing. Let me do it. Girl, I put that baby on my breast. He latched on and say he bit me. And my I didn't know who was hollering worse, me or him. Cause I was like, oh, he bit me. And my mom was like, he didn't bite you. She was like, Andrea, what are you doing? I was trying to breastfeed. I was like, get him. Get him. No. Mm-mm.
Ooh, ooh.
Mm-mm. So I'm glad your experience was better than mine.
I mean, I don't want to say I wasted my whole honeymoon, but I spent a good portion of my honeymoon laying on the beaches of Maui reading
Mhm.
a 400-page book on how to breastfeed because I wanted to breastfeed so badly. And it didn't come easy, and I was like, why'd I waste my whole honeymoon on this? Like, so I was so thankful I found community in that group of moms.
Mhm.
And then when we moved, when our son was a year and a half, the first thing I did was I started looking like on listservs, talking to other people, saying, okay, where can I find my group, my crew,
Yeah.
community that I can count on and feel like talk to other adults so I'm sane.
Yes.
Literally, like I can't I can't do it by myself. I enjoy my own company for my brain.
Mhm.
Lock me in my room with a hot cup of coffee, all the croissant, and a book, and I'm good, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to hard transitions in life, when we're trying to net
Mm.
that tide, we need people around us who are going through the same thing so they can empathize and know how to reach out. They are
Yes.
in the trenches with us, right? They know what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are too far removed. They forget. They forget what it's like.
That's true.
And so
That is
right,
true.
it's always so good to have somebody around you and making sure you have people, um, your power community, as Dr. PBJ likes to name it.
You know what? That is so real, and you're so right. The power of community, and I feel like sometimes we don't hold a lot of value in community and in being together. It's like we're like, oh yeah, we're together, it's a group, but we don't look at the importance or the, like I said, the value that community really holds. And for you to be able to say, like, hey, I needed community. I wanted to be in a place where I could be vulnerable and not be judged
Mhm.
for being vulnerable. Now tell me this, what struggles have you seen, or with even with yourself, of being vulnerable? Because like we listen to the word vulnerable and it's like, oh no, vulnerable, X out, no, don't go, don't touch it, caution, caution, because we feel like vulnerable is such a demeaning.
Right. We view it so much like a weakness, I feel like.
Yes.
Woo! There, I feel like it's a keyhole.
Ooh.
Like, if you are willing to be vulnerable, you open the door for others you give them permission to be.
Mm.
Because even though what I've realized as an adult, why did it take me so long to learn all these things, is that even though we're all so different, even though God made us all unique with our own gifts and purposes and missions in life, we all feel the same feelings, right?
Yes.
So how do you get down to that level where you can meet somebody from who's completely different than you and be able to connect with them? It's when you can meet them through the heart, right? Matter through
Mm.
the heart, through that vulnerability. And so if you're willing to be vulnerable and share with others, granted, there's always the risk. You always run the risk of people not being ready to be vulnerable with you, or maybe others who aren't ready to accept your vulnerability.
Yeah.
But I feel like that risk is so worth taking, because then you're able to make the connection with the people you are meant to connect with, right?
Yes.
Push somebody away, push them away. That is fine. Maybe you weren't meant to connect with them at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to be willing to be vulnerable, to
Yes.
connect with those that we're called to serve.
Oh, that is so good. That's so good. And you're so right. So right. So tell us about who who the woman you are today. Who is she now? So who is JL now? You've talked about your childhood experiences and being told to shut up, sit down, be quiet, things like that, and how it caused you to be an introvert. But then, learning the power in your voice, because it is so powerful. Your story is so powerful, you know. So who is she now? Who is JL now? How did those experiences influence or cultivate who you are today?
I'm still an introvert. I'm gonna go sit in my bed. After this, I'm gonna go sit in my bed and a cup of tea.
Right on.
I. It's so strange. It's like ironic because I
Yeah.
love connecting with people. I love it. There's because we invite the Holy Spirit in when we connect, right?
Mm,
When we gather, when we share, that's when the magic happens.
yeah.
And that magic isn't going to happen when we're just, right? I mean, I feel like alone time is important, um, but like we are all meant to live together, right? We are all interdependent on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When it comes to the food we eat, which was grown and picked and delivered by somebody else and put on the shelf by a grocer and checked
Yeah.
out by somebody else, that whole process, everything we do to, getting gas for our cars, like we can think that we live alone, that we are self-sufficient, but we're not. We are all interconnected,
Yeah.
interdependent, and we need to embrace that and on each other.
Yeah. 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 That's one thing that the pandemic it showed us is that sense of connection. Um and it showed that as humans we needed that sense of connection. We needed that touch, that physical touch. We needed to be in community
Mhm.
with each other, because when we wasn't, it was emotionally traumatic. It was mentally just harmful for
Mhm.
our mental states. Um, because we're just used to being in that community. We're used to being in that crowd. And even as someone who might have social anxiety, even them, like the pandemic was like, whoa, okay, I like to be alone, but there's too much aloneness.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, yeah, I'm in the house, but this quarantine thing, like, can I open the door? Like, can we, at that point, it's like, I'm trying to
Right.
bust out.
You get to know my neighbors now.
Yeah.
That is so true. Now, like when I finally like realized the value of community,
Mm-hmm.
I am never gonna let this go. Um, yeah, and I always sought it out, and I started building communities wherever I want, and being part of incredibly life-giving communities.
Oh.
And that was before COVID. COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the communities I was still a part of, we transitioned. Two of them actually, we transitioned to Zoom, and
Mm.
realized that okay, this magic can still happen online. Granted, it is not the same thing, but still, technology has opened the doors to
Yeah.
connect with billions of people. Um, so now I help online entrepreneurs build thriving communities around their brands. Um,
Yeah.
whether that's because they just want more engagement in a Facebook group, or because they're looking to transition off of Facebook and go to an online community platform
Mm-hmm.
like Mighty Networks, Circle, Heartbeat Chat. There's so many, like all these SaaS companies have finally caught up to the idea that people do want to connect, and there is absolutely so much value in gathering people in a community online.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and I'm glad they are, moving up, speeding up with the times and everything, like you said, because people really want to be together. People really want to be connected,
Yeah.
and together. I want to go back to something that you said with, being told to be quiet,
Mhm.
but then finding the power in your voice. Finding the power of you being bold to speak up. How can you what can you give another woman encouraging words who might have been in that situation where they've been told for so many times to be quiet, whether it was by family members or um, teachers or their friends, or either their loved ones, like their spouses, their girlfriend or boyfriend, special people. They've been told to be quiet for so long to where they shrink themselves.
Mhm.
But what encouraging word can you give them to find the power in their voices and being bold?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I think part of it is that realizing that these little things that we don't realize have an effect on us, like they're not big traumatic events, but they are so ingrained in just our upbringing. Um, yeah, to be quiet and stay in your seat, and, um, pay attention, don't interrupt.
Mhm.
Um, I was so shy as a child. I didn't even want to raise my hand to ask to go to the bathroom. So I
Wow.
hit my chair thinking that would be less of an inconvenience and I could get
Yeah.
without being noticed. Like it was my job to get by without being noticed. Right? So
Mm.
high school when, I was taking IB honors classes, but I was also getting high every day. But I would get by because I got good grades. And so
Mm.
noticed, right? Nobody was worried because it wasn't like I was failing. I was getting by. And I was hiding. I was
Mm.
hiding from myself and I was hiding from others.
Ooh.
We have a purpose. We have a mission here, right? We're all here with a purpose, right? And it's within us, right? Even if we haven't pinpointed what that is, it's still inside of us.
Yeah.
So I think the encouragement I can say is try to be as true to yourself as you can be. Try to really pay attention to those little things that you may even say to yourself every day without noticing it has an impact on you, right? Um, yeah, we're brought up to shrink ourselves. So know that your voice matters, your
Mhm.
thoughts matter. You have so much beauty and love inside of you, and we need to exercise that out into the world so that we can be refilled and refueled. Um, and the only way to really move that love through us is by going out and doing. And I know we had a conversation about always doing things. Rest is
Yes.
good.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, community. Okay, conversation community. So I'm going to give you some background on what JL is referring to. You know, we won't leave y'all out in the dark. We're going to bring y'all to some light. So before the show started, we were just having, conversations about certain things that were told to us as children, that our parents would say. And we shared how it impacted and affected us into our adulthood, into the personalities that we, or some of the traits that we took on. And so for me, I was always told, like, say, if I was just chilling, just relaxing, watching television, whatever, my feet kicked up, how it goes. And my parents or my grandmother would walk through the living room. What you doing? Shouldn't you be doing something? Go read a book. Go wash some dishes. Go do something. And it's like you're confused. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And so in my adulthood, I started to be busy because I had to have something. I had to have something to do. And if I wasn't doing something, I felt like I was going to get in trouble because I was doing something wrong. And so as I told JL, I said it was very challenging for me to rest. I didn't know how to rest. It was like when I would rest or relax, I was like, I'm gonna get a whooping, get punished. And it was like I'm good grown. Like, well, who gonna punish me? As one of our coaches say, well, who gonna check you, boo? Who gonna check you? But that's how I felt because that is what was said to me so often that I internalized it, and I was like, well, I can't rest because I'm gonna get in trouble. And now, even though it's not something that we would say out loud, but it's something that we internalized. Yeah. And so, like I said in jail, I just learned, and within the last 2 to 3 years, how to take time out and rest. I really didn't know what self care was. And I had to realize that my self care, of course, looks different from other people's. My self care legitly is doing nothing, not going to get my lashes done, my nails done, my toes done, going shopping. Cause your girl gonna do that anyway, boo. I'm, I am not gonna step out this door and my nails aren't done. Like these lashes be on. As y'all see, these eyebrows are popping because my mom was like, baby, get them brows done. Like, and I'm gonna have different hairstyles. Like, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So when I step out, I'm gonna step. But it was that resting that Andrea didn't know. It was that resting that I was like, who is that? Matter of fact, it was like, who rest? Why rest? It was weak to rest. We don't rest. We're strong. Strong women don't rest. You you keep pushing. You keep being resilient. You keep like, rest? No.
That.
But even, and like I told JL, even when I was sick, physically sick, in hospital sick, in the bed sick, having to have people watch me 24/7. I'm sick. I was still not resting. Like I was delusional one day walking up the sidewalk because I couldn't see resting. Resting was punishment. But now, oh, now your girl, she'll rest. I have Freedom Friday. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. I don't want nothing moving, talking, running, jumping, nothing. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch my Hallmark, and I'm gonna relax.
Woo! I did not know you liked Hallmark.
JL, let me tell you something. Girl, I am so ready for October the 31st because it is going down with them Christmas movies. I don't know about anybody in the conversation community, but if you hear me about them Hallmark and those Lifetime Christmas movies, let me see you say amen because it is going down October the 31st. That's all I got.
They start October 31st?
Yes. Okay, well, when October 31st hit, November, that lets me know November 1st is coming soon. But it goes down. Freedom Fridays, I am like Freedom Weekend. Give me my popcorn. Give me my glass of wine. That's what I said. Give me my glass of wine. And I'm propping my feet up on the couch. I'm getting my little snuggy weighted blanket. Ooh. And I am going to have fun. October 31st is my celebration. I celebrate October 31st.
I'm going to call you that first Friday. What are you watching? From all the Lifetime drama.
Yes. I think I like them all the little sappy Christmas movies because you know what's gonna happen. It's always this someone needs a date for the holidays because their parents are always asking them when they're gonna get married or why they're not married. I don't care. It could be the same thing, the same storyline, and I'm gonna watch it from November the 1st all the way to New Year's Day.
So, do you like it because it's predictable?
You know what? I liked it. I think it is the predictability of it, but then too, it's just I don't have to think about it. It's just mentally freeing. That's why I like it. Like it's so mentally freeing. I can escape. There's no worries. It's no real drama. So it's not like reality TV where it's just so much drama that it becomes very toxic, planting seeds of toxicity in you. No, it is just pure joy.
Always a happy ending.
Always a happy ending. And I can laugh or I can be like, oh, girl, why she do that? Like, and just still be, yeah, I love it.
That's good.
I do.
Fun fact. Love it.
Yes. Look, I might have to, go on my IG live and give everyone updates as far as my.
Just thinking, I need a Friday reel. You and your movie and your popcorn and wine.
I got you. I got you.
No,
I got you. I got you. I'm telling you, I get so excited when but Hocus Pocus is coming out. Okay, y'all, this is not paid advertisement for Hocus Pocus, but I do like Hocus Pocus. So Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out October the 1st. And so your girl will be watching Hocus. Don't write that down, JL. See, JL taking notes on Hocus Pocus, y'all. She think I can't see her. All four of my eyes. It's all four of them.
Hocus Pocus? What? that was like a childhood movie. Like, I think that after Titanic, that was my.
Oh, okay. Power said, "Oh yes, Power. It is the same. Well, not the same cast as far as the kids, but all three of the witches." Wow. They are the same. So we are getting, what is her name? Bit Metler, or I can't think of her name. But anyway, Her,
Yeah.
we're getting uh Sex in the City girl, I can't think of her name, and we're getting the other one too. Yes, all three of the witches will be the same. I have seen the commercial quite a few times. I am very excited. And I will give y'all my update when I watch it like 10 times in October.
Woo! Cannot wait. Let us know what you pick up every time you rewatch it. You know, because I feel like even though you watch it over again, you always get something new out of it.
Oh my goodness. You are so right. That is me.
Mm.
I feel that same way about movies also. You always see something different. It's like it's I feel like it's because like we'll have certain experience or something happen throughout our day, or we might listen to something, hear something, and so when we go back to rewatch a movie, it's like, wait a minute, oh, that hit different.
Mm.
Mm. Oh, wait, I see something this time. Let me write that down because that's good right there. Like I'm with you on that.
Inspirational quote that just came out of the witch's mouth.
Right now, they be having some motivation. It was one. This is the one that what was it? Oh no, that wasn't motivational. It was I put a spell on you and now you're mine. I put a spell on you. Okay, y'all, let me stop. But
Woo.
yes.
Do you have a crew you watch these movies with?
Well, I don't really have a crew, but now that my son is back with me, big ups. The little one, well, big one, adult one. Okay, anyway, he's old. But he's back. And so he's my movie crew. Like, so he'll watch Hocus Pocus, but he said he hasn't seen the first one. And I was like, I said, who is your mother?
Who is his mother? What?
Like, because this mother has watched Hocus Pocus like 25,000 times. Who's your mother? You know what? I blame Xbox, PlayStation, Microsoft computers. I blame all of them.
Their stocks are going down as you speak.
Children hadn't even watched Hocus Pocus 1. They don't even know all the Harry Potter's collections. I blame all of them. Okay. I'm off my rant. But JL, before we leave, tell the conversation community a little bit more about your business, Arise to Realness, and how Arise to Realness came about. Like,
Yeah, it just came about with the realization that we all have a community within us, right?
mm-hmm,
We all have a story within us.
mm-hmm,
We are experts of our own lives. Everything that has happened to us, we are the only ones who have lived that.
so true.
Everything that has happened to us has built up the person who we are today. Even those times that seemed so rough and down, we have come out of it.
Mm.
Perhaps we're still going through it, but know that you will keep moving forward, right? Even if an event happened or you're experiencing a feeling, we keep going forward.
Yeah.
That marks a part of our history. And that has created who we are today. And who we are today resonates with somebody else in the world. And they need you. And you need them, right? And so you can create a community that you will benefit from, others will benefit from. It's the synergy, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, that will be created when you gather people together.
Oh my goodness. So awesome. So awesome. Thank you so much, JL, for being a part of the conversation. For anyone a part of the conversation community, if you would like to connect with JL, You can connect with her on Facebook. Her website is, www.rise to realness.com. So please check her out. Follow her, follow her, follow her. And if you too would like to build community, or if you want to be in a community, hey, talk to her, hit her up. She is so fabulous. As you see here tonight, she's so fabulous. And I thank her so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. My
Aw.
two-piece sister. Yes. Yes. So awesome. But again, conversation community, y'all have an awesome, a wonderful night. I just want to thank each and every one of you because you are with me weekly. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your support and everything that you do as a community here. And also, don't forget that I do have journals. So go and get your journal. She is confident. Yes, so beautiful. We have different colors. I have other journals also. You can order them from Amazon. Just type in my name and you will find the rest of the journals. But yes, so that's it. But again, so I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place, but a different guest. But the series that we're talking about is who is she now? So, how are the experiences and the things that they've been through cultivated to be the person that they are today? So, again, y'all have a great evening, have a great night, and remember, show the world who you are and don't allow the world to tell you who you are. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.